This problem, especially just looking at it all at once, can be pretty overwhelming. There's a lot of parts. It's really just asking us everything we've learned in this module 3 about functions. This one with a graph. We are asked what is the domain, what is the range, what are the x-intercepts, what are the zeros. It asks us to evaluate a couple points, and it asks us something in part G, which we will get to when we get there. All right, so what is the domain of f of x? Well, we know the domain is the x values. So since there's no dot here, it's going on forever. So it's going to go forever to the left. The x value, since it goes forever to the left, is going back to negative infinity. And it's going all the way to the right until we get to 7. Now, since this is filled in, it gets a bracket because we are including. Remember, parentheses or infinity and negative infinity never get a bracket, but the other ones we just have to make sure on. Now, the second part, what is the range? That's the y values. Right, we can kind of start off looking at y values. What's the lowest it goes? Well, this is telling us it goes down to negative infinity as well. So the y values are negative infinity, and it goes all the way up. You don't want to look over here. You want to look where it's at the top, and it's at the top at 4. Remember, since it's part of the graph, we include it and we use a bracket as well. So negative infinity up to 4. Right, but once again, this section, the problems we do in this section are really supposed to be a review, just kind of putting everything together and a few problems to practice. All right, so the third part, what is or what are the x-intercepts? Right, this is where we hit the x-axis. We hit at -7, we hit at 2, and we hit at 6. And remember, these are also related to the zeros. The x-intercepts are the coordinate pairs. So we got -7, 0. It says separating multiple answers with commas. We got the next x value, which is 2, 0. And we got the last value, x is 6, the y is 0. And the zeros are just the x values of those, -6 to, or sorry, -7, 2, and 6. The next two parts are asking us to evaluate the function. Part E, we want to figure out what f of -9 is. So this is saying look at where x is -9, which is right here, and then what's the y value there? And that's -2. And same idea for the next one. It's asking us to look at where x is -2 and then find the y value, which is 4. Right, now the last one, it kind of reads the opposite way, but you've seen a problem like this before, at least a couple times earlier in this module. We are asked for what values of x does f of x equal 3? Well, it's asking us to look at where y equals 3, or sorry, -3. -3 is down here. And then I kind of like to just sketch a line. I can't really do it well like this, but all along -3, we want to see where it hits the graph, and only hits it once here. And it's asking for the x value, which is -10. Right. There could be many answers to this part. There could only be one. There might even be none, but I don't think there's actually none for any of the questions. All right, so the last one can read a little confusing, especially if it's been a while since you did it earlier in this module. Right, but as far as graphs go, if you can answer these questions, looking at a graph, know the domain, the range, and all this stuff, you're in a really good spot.